Alright, so we're right back into another Dragon Ball Super card game video. This one, it's going to be kind of a discussion, sort of theory type video regarding, what leaders are still missing within the game. We're about 10 sets in until June, that is. We still haven't really seen a number of leaders. Before I continue, definitely subscribe if you're new, like, dislike, and let me know what leader you're looking forward to in the comments below. And of course, this is actually going to be a dual type of release. Of course, this video, and as well as the leader article that I released on the StageZero.net website. Go ahead and take a look at that when you got a chance. Kind of speaks about power creep. It's going to be sort of a series talking throughout on the different types of power creep and the evolution of leaders in the card game itself. All right, let's get right into it. So, what leaders are actually missing? So, there's a lot of things to consider. There's a lot of characters in the Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and Dragon Ball Super universe, right? But there are, I think, a lot of different cult followings, and as well as different characters that people just want to see and just love, right? Personally, for me, I have a few biases, and I'm obviously going to go through those right now. But there's a difference between, the Captain, or not the Captain Ginyu. Well, I guess Captain Ginyu does have a leader, but his force, like Jace, Birder, etc., or any of the universe leaders that we have nothing, we know nothing about, or just kind of seen, like Belmont or something like that. Those don't really constitute being a leader. When we have Tien throughout, he's been here throughout the entire series since Dragon Ball, and Yamcha has a leader, so why not Tien, right? And then we have Turles, who has a whole entire movie, but Hirudegan has his own leader and his own archetype and stuff like that, and Turles just has a battle card, right? Those type of things. Kind of going from left to right, which again, there's a lot of different characters, big or small, that might not be on this list. And I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm not going to create them all. If you want me to do that, definitely let me know in the comments. As far as Tien, I think he would be a pretty good leader, or at least one that we can kind of look at. I didn't create it in this video, or at least you're not going to see it as far as an example and what I think he would look like. But I think he's probably going to have some sort of big effect that removes or gives himself a power boost. So if he's like a surge leader, you can choose one card underneath his, underneath him, take a life or take 2 life, and then he gains like 10k for the duration of the turn, and critical or double strike or something like that. Something crazy. And then on its front side, you take a life and then something. That's sort of his thing. Like you're going beyond the limit and trying to defeat the enemy. Plus, he has a lot of cool techniques. It's just that I don't think Tien really gets that much love. I think he is a cool character. I think there should have been a little bit more character development going to Dragon Ball Super, as well as even Z. Dragon Ball, he was actually pretty cool. He had a cool background with Mercenary Tao and all the others as far as the martial arts or martial artists. So I don't know, but I definitely think he could be like a green leader. He could be in the game. Omega Shenron is definitely going to be one of those that we're going to see. Like, we've been teased with all of the Dragon Ball GT stuff. Didn't see any of the Omega Shenron or Shadow Dragons from what I remember and what I've went through, going through all the sets and taking a look at different leaders and different cards and things like that to make this video. But I haven't seen anything. We haven't been teased for that. Oh, well, actually, let me take that back. We have been teased, but haven't seen anything concrete for Shadow Dragons and as well as Sin and Omega Shenron. We have gotten that recent, I think, set 7, set 8? I'm getting confused nowadays, but I think it's set 8. The secret rare, the negative energy Dragon Ball secret rare that removes everything and sends it to the warp. So we know that something like this is gonna, come in the future. Just like how we knew that choosing up to 1 leader card, and we now have dual leaders in the future in set 10. So I think we're gonna see something there. I've made up my own mock-up, and hopefully it's not too busted. And then we have Pike, sort of like that cool version of Piccolo, even though Piccolo is actually still pretty cool. I don't think he's directly a Namekian if you take a look at his ears and as well as just his whole stature. He's like a cross between like Mr. Popo, Blackface, and as well as Frieza. It's kind of weird, but Pycon has, he's pretty cool. Like the whole Otherworld saga, and as well as his fight with Goku, and his whole mysterious type of thing going on. I think there's enough following for him to be constituted as a leader. And I think he could be pretty creative. I did have a mock-up for him. I did not have one for Turles, which again, he has his own movie. People love him. People were hyped about, the Ghost Warrior Turles, so I don't see why we wouldn't have a leader in the first place. It's kind of weird. And then we have Launch, which again, if you look at every single set, we have at least like maybe one female leader, with the exception of this set, which is set 9, which we haven't seen a leader. As of this recording, I haven't seen all of the stuff from set 9. Not everything is released, so I'm not gonna say that. You know, I'm just gonna preface that. But every single set, we've actually had a female leader, and I think, not to sound too 2019, 2020, but there should be a little bit more female representation within the game, simply because, like, if you want more people to play your game, you should include females as well. A lot of females kind of gravitate to things that are alike, and females that want to kind of play a female character. That's my guess. That's what I've been told by other females as well. If they just wanted to, you know, kind of wanted to play, that's one of the options they can have. Not just to have all these other characters that they can't really relate to. That's just my guess. That's just another reason to kind of market it. And I think Launch is actually one of those characters that you can kind of exploit and make it creative. And I think I have something pretty creative for that. Then we have Future Gohan, which we have Future Trunks. We have the past Trunks. We have Kid Trunks, right? But we don't have Future Gohan. And it's gonna be pretty much a criminal thing not to include him without an arm. So hopefully we'll see that. And I'll go into my take on that. And of course we have Whis and Great Saiyaman 1 and 2. For Whis, obviously it's a Dragon Ball Super card game, and we don't have Whis, which is kind of crazy. He is one of the most strongest and most important character technically. If you really look at it, he is one of the most important characters within the whole entire universe for Dragon Ball Super, because they put him on that pedestal. And then we don't really have a leader, so it's kind of weird not to have that. I don't have really a mock-up for that. I'm really curious to see what everybody else says, so I'm gonna leave that as is. And then we have Great Saiyaman 1 and 2. This is sort of a bias, but this is probably going to be really cool in order to take advantage of the dual leaders. So like having Great Saiyaman 1 and then Great Saiyaman 2 as a dual leader, and using the effects like a planeswalker, like as everyone is saying right now, to assist Great Saiyaman 1 as the leader. So I think that'd be kind of cool. All right, let's take a look at the stuff that I made up. The first one is Sin on the front side and Omega on the back side, in which he is a black leader. He is, you know, power 10k. His trait is Shenron and as well as Shadow Dragon, so he has access to both of them. Could be broken, could be not, but he's not a wish leader. He's going to be a awakened leader, and the reason for that is because I feel like Sin Shenron and as well as Omega Shenron, or one and the same really, is just basically more aggressive. He's not an actual Shenron sort of like thought. Plus, I think going forward in the game, they're not really going to introduce any more wish leaders, or at least that many, but they might have Shenron support as we go on, since they have printed some stuff for Dragon Ball GT, and as well as, you know, Dragon Ball or Dragon Balls. But for this one, his auto is that when he attacks a leader card, draw 1 card, and you choose 1 Black Star Dragon Ball in your deck or life and add it to your hand, and then shuffle your deck if you look through it. So the reason why I put Black Star Dragon Ball is because I think if you had the Dragon Ball tag in itself, it would be a little too strong. Simply because the other Shenron leaders can't really attack, and if you mitigate it and just have it just for the Black Star Dragon Ball and keep it within theme and the archetype, you can kind of control how strong or how weak it is. Like these Dragon Balls could just say, just draw 1 card, or give something plus 5k, or drink one of your Shadow Dragons plus 5k, right? It just depends on the actual archetype, but I think this would be kind of close to what they would do, or something similar to it. I could be wrong. And I also want to preface that I should have said this a long time ago before I started blabbing on, that I am a player, not a game designer, so some of this stuff could be too damn broken and I wouldn't even realize it. But I think on paper, I think there's some mitigation as well as some control there, but I don't know. Anyway, his activate main is that if your life is 5 or more, you place 1 Dragon Ball, Black Star Dragon Ball in your card in your hand and place in the drop area, and then you play a Shadow Dragon battle card within its trait with a cost of 2 or less. And basically they will have different things that either boost the leader, or gain an effect, or draw a card, or just being there. Because of the other side, the front side, in which he is a 15k and he attacks, he draws 1. His activate main is that if all of your energy is black, just to sort of mitigate if you want to play blue, if you want to play anything else, this is just restrictive to the black archetype. And I think just like how Boo is, and just like how a number of other leaders are, if you restrict the energy, they restrict sort of what the deck can do and kind of future-proof everything else. Again, not a card designer, but that's my thought process behind that. If you have 3 or more Shadow Dragons in your battle area, you switch this card to active mode and it gains 5k in critical. So 3 cards, it's quite of a lot. Like the stuff that we had for Bond way back when, it was kind of hard to actually just have that there. Universe 7 is a little bit easier nowadays, but with the Namekian and stuff, it's like, you know. But what I would say to that is that if you have those three, and it is Shadow Dragon battle cards, you have to commit to the Shadow Dragons. You have to commit to having all black energy, and you pretty much will only use this once per game. So 20k critical is not that bad. You don't get the draw again. You just get to have that sort of swing. But the other activate main, oh, I meant to mention the awaken draw 2 on tap 1, which is sort of standard for these type of leaders. I think drawing 1, just like Hachiyak, or drawing 2 might be pretty good, but that's just me. But activate main, you remove 7 Black Star Dragon Balls cards from your hand, or your drop area from the game. If you do so, choose all battle cards with energy cost of 6 or less, and set them at the end, to the warp at the end of the turn, and then flip the card over at the beginning of your next turn. So this thing, as basically, if he still gets this auto on the backside, being a 10k leader, you just don't have access to the Black Star Balls, because I would imagine you could only have to play 7 within your deck anyway. But this is a reference to the other part in which the Black Star Dragon Ball, or the secret rare, warps everything, ignoring barrier. This one does choose, and it does warp everything on the field, which I would imagine, being a Shenron leader, or being a Shenron card or character, you have access to, you know, some board wiping as well as those type of things. So that it kind of sets within theme. And again, is it activate main? Is it not activate battle? So you can't really do it anytime that you actually want to. Plus, you need those Dragon Balls, those Black Star Dragon Balls. So again, you're committing to that archetype. And although it is sort of a strong sort of thing, it doesn't ignore barrier and is only 6 or less. So you have options there. Either you want to go ahead and go aggressive and try to get that critical in 5k, or that 20k really, or you remove it, you take away all those effects, and now you're a 10k Shenron small boy, and that's it. All right, moving on to Pike. This man is going to be green, and his power is 10k. His trait is unknown because you really don't know what he is, right? He's sort of like this alien type thing that's in space, or the other world, I guess. And with his card attacks, lead a card, you choose 1 card from your hand and set it to the warp. If you do, your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and set it to their warp, and then you choose 1 card from your life and add it to your hand, or you may choose 1. So this is kind of a reference to the custom leader cards that I had for Mega Shenron as well as Pike. If you didn't check out that video way back when, I'll put it on the screen, I'll put it in the description, and you can go check that out. But I wanted to have something that's a little bit better than Reddit's, and I think this would probably kind of be the best direction. And I think stuff that has the Otherworld trait would be pretty good with this, that will focus on cards setting to the warp. And then we have Vegeta the Cruel, playing green. You can always have that as well, because his awaken is draw 2, you flip it over at 4 or less, and then his auto is once per turn if you have an Otherworld card in your battle area, which hopefully you have something that has barrier. If your opponent places any card from their warp, or sending card any area to their warp, on either turn, that is, your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and sets it to the warp. So nothing crazy. You have to have that Otherworld card in the battle area. They can easily remove it. Similar to Slug, there will probably be only 3 to 4 Otherworld cards that you can actually play. And then, but you can always use Vegeta the Cruel. You can always exploit their use of Overwhelm, because it'll actually proc off that. And since it's only 1 card, it's not that bad. And of course, when he attacks, he gains 5k and draw a card. The only reason why I added that is because of his sort of like 2-fist type of attack in which he goes all out. Then we have Launch. So this one I actually really do like. This one kind of takes advantage of a concept that we didn't have before, of having 1 color on one side and another color on the other. Would they ever do that? I have no idea, but I think what this would be is that one side has blue. She is a 10k leader. Her trait is Earthling, and her area is whatever, right? Her auto is when it attacks, it draws 1 card. It doesn't have to be a leader attack. But her permanent is that all your red Earthlings in your battle area gain blocker, and I'll explain why that is. And this gains 5k during your opponent's turn. So the thing is that when she awakens, or the awaken effect is that when she inflicts damage or takes 1 or more damage, you draw 1 card and flip the card over. So anytime that she actually deals damage or inflicts it, whatever it may be, because those are kind of different, or she gets a double strike, one damage, a regular leader swing on their turn, she'll flip right back over to the red or blue side. So the red side is a 10k leader. in which she is a Earthling and air, whatever. And when she attacks, she gains 5k power. She draws a card, and then if your life is 4 or less, this card and all other Earthling cards or battle cards in your battle area gain critical. I would probably change that to red Earthling cards in your battle area gain critical, but that's just me. If anything, what this is that basically on the blue side, or on the good launch side, she is a defensive sort of leader, in which she is a 15k leader. She has blockers and she gets to draw a card. That's really about it. But the offensive one, after she gets hit, after, again, that's like when she sneezes, she switches back to the other launch. She gains attack, the 15k attack and critical if she is 4 or less, but she's still a 10k leader on their turn. So when they do afflict that damage, she switches back to defense and vice versa. So hopefully we'll have some of this concept in the future. I just don't know. Let me know what you think though. And the last one is Future Gohan. So this one's gonna be a red-green Surge leader with a 10k power and 15k on the other side. I just didn't list it. Their trait is Earthling and Saiyan, Future Trunks era, in which she draws 2 cards and then choose one Saiyan or Earthling in your hand and place it in drop area. So this is similar and like kind of a callback to the dad of red yellow Searchku, in which you still draw 2 cards, but you have to choose a Saiyan or Earthling into your drop, which is a callback to Trunks and as well as any other Saiyan or Earthling, right? He protects those people and he wants to, you know, have them in their hand and in their drop. You know what I'm saying, right? His awakening is that he draws 3 and untap 1. Same thing as the red Ku or red Search Ku, right? But his activate main in battle. So this is the thing here. Okay, when you read this, don't just give me a chance. If life is 3 or less, you choose 1 card from the hand or under the card and place it in drop area. You choose 1 of your Saiyan battle cards with any cost of 3 or more, KO it, and then choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and KO it. So the concept behind this is that Trunks is trying to protect Gohan. Gohan says no. He KOs him with the little karate chop, and he's like, nah, I got this. And then he KOs 17 and 18. That's basically the whole thing. This is also a callback to red green Broly Surge. So like ignoring barrier and not being able to go for game. This just destroys 2 threats. There's a lot of cards that do have barrier, such as Fearless Pan, and now the Evoker cards if you want to play Tricolor. So I mean, there's some options that you can kind of keep your Saiyan battle cards in the battle area as well. So that's a thing to kind of think of. Plus he has access to denial. He also has access to the blue green preempted, the hidden the potential kind of play. I always forget now. So you could play Tricolor, right? There's a lot of different options that you could do. And the other thing is that you choose 2 cards from your life. So if you're at 3, you have to go down to 1, or if you're at 2, you can't even use this effect, and you add it to your hand. If you do so, your opponent places 1 card from their life and places it in the drop area. So basically, you're going all out. You're losing that arm, which hopefully they'll print it with that, to deal 1 damage, which is not that much, but you still did something. This is also a callback back to that 17 and 18, in which he's fighting, he's giving it his all, he loses his arm, but he still did some damage to them, right? That's the whole concept behind it. I feel like this was really fun. I want to hear what you guys think, and I want to see some comments and let me know if these are too busted, if this is badly designed. What would you change? What would you even add? What other leaders do you think? I'd love to get some discussion going on. Like, dislike, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.